You're still watching KBC News Check. On the second hour, we'll be talking about matters road safety. Now, road safety in Kenya, or road accident in Kenya, are the third leading cause of fatalities or death after malaria and HIV, and over 3,000 deaths each year. If you ask me, that is way too many. 50% of fatalities, unfortunately, are pedestrians. There are road safety campaigns targeting motorists, targeting schools. We are going to be delving into that discussion. And without further ado, allow me to introduce my panelist. He is not a new face here. He has come here a number of times, and we have discussed a number of road safety measures with him. He is David Kiarie, who is the Road Safety Association of Kenya chairman. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Just next to him, we have John Katimbwa, who is the National Vice Chairman, Matatu Welfare Association. Karibu sana, Bwana John.
Thank you.
Just next to him, we have Philip Kipchumba Kosgei. Philip is the Interim Secretary General of Long Distance Operators. And I think I should start from there. Bwana Kosgei, what exactly is the Long Distance Operators?
Thank you very much.
What is your mandate?
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
This is an association that we are still building up since last year, when we had a problem with the governor in Nairobi, when he wanted the long distance operators, especially from North Rift, to proceed and go to Green Park for the congestion of the town. We realized that we were not represented well, and we hurriedly came together, those who were affected, and I was given this position as the interim Secretary General to be able to spearhead the negotiations and see how best we can operate within Nairobi and with the other counties with ease. I think that's how we are, and we are actually doing a lot of progress in ensuring that we make it a real formal issue. But in this case, I think we are able to negotiate these issues that are affecting
Very
them.
quickly, you're talking about long distance operators. Yes. Which routes do you ply?
I ply North Rift, and the South Rift, but we also had the group from the central part and even Mombasa, because if you remember what the governor said, he talked about the long distance which were affecting up to Mombasa, but later on he changed and he focused on North Rift. But in this long distance operators, we are intending to look at the welfare of all the operators that move from the city then to the various counties in the countrywide.
All right, we will be delving a little bit more on that, because we've had some issues there when it comes to long travel. Sometimes they had been banned, especially the night travel had been banned.
Exactly.
And actually a lot of people brought about a lot of issues, but it was quite necessary because of the road accidents that we had. But if you have streamlined that sector, we will be knowing now. Bwana Kiarie, these numbers, they are staggering, 3,000. The last time we were talking about road safety here, a lot of the blame, you actually squarely put it on NTSA in terms of how they are handling the security, this road safety issues in the country. Has that situation changed?
The fact of things is that even the numbers you are talking about there are not the real numbers. We are talking of 6,000 Kenyans losing their lives. We have the report from the World Health Organization. The numbers we are normally given here are less, but the real numbers we are talking of from 6,000.
That's way too many.
Too many. And when I was complaining about NTSA, because it's the authority we really fought for, to make sure that it spearheads, making sure that it brings carnage down. But you remember, before NTSA, we had a body called TLB, which were dealing mainly on Matatus. And when we were talking of NTSA to come in force, to have an authority, it was a body to make sure that it covers each and everything, from the police, long distance vehicles, that is trucks, any road users, so that we can be brought together and have a discussion about how can we reduce these accidents. But this has not been happening. It happened when NTSA was formed. You remember during Njue, when he was a chairman, and things changed. But with the time, things went back to where they were.
Now, Remember when Michuki took over as the CS for transport, you do remember there were some radical changes in how the road safety, and especially for Matatus. But if you look at that time and now, it's quite different. There's no sanity in the roads. The seat belts, the speed governors, the unroadworthy vehicles are back on the roads. What are you doing as the Matatu Welfare Association to ensure that your association members do everything that they can to ensure the road safety standard as outlined in law, as outlined by NTSA, are followed to the letter?
Yes, thank you very much. I quite concur with you. When Michuki took over, he brought in a radical surgery to ensure that our roads were safe. But without further enhancement or upholding the standards he had set, the situation has kind of deteriorated. But I will not blame it entirely on the operators, because we are trying what we can to educate our members on the need of maintaining the recommended speed and being careful on the roads, so that you do not, our drivers do not overtake or drive carelessly, because that's one area which has a lot of loopholes, which makes our roads unsafe. So we have a major campaign. In fact, we shall be soon rolling it out, where we want further, the drivers should be taken for medical tests, because at times you could be losing your sight without knowing you are losing your sight. It's only when you go for a medical checkup is when you realize, oh, kumba, I'm blind. So we are coming up with a lot of campaigns. They're in the offing, of which we will recommend that drivers can go for medical tests in terms of eyesight, hearing, and so on, pressure, and so on, so that the people who are being licensed are medically fit. So that, because that's an area which has not been exploited.
Yes.
We only come to blame. But have we done any surgery, any postmortem to find out why such challenges persist? Then, secondly, I would equally say, with the road network, if you recall very well, we used to have a lot of accidents happening at the Rakanithi bridge.
Yeah.
What happened?
Bridge.
When we complained that the engineering part of it was not up to standard, and the engineers went, visited that place, expanded the road, put a perimeter wall in between, it became something of the past. So it's to Rift Valley. If you recall very well, people were saying there are demons around Sichangwani, Salga, which are demanding for blood. There was nothing like that. That was just a myth. The truth of the matter was the road network, the engineering part of it. So the moment the engineers visited the place, after we had sat down with the CS for transport by then, James Macharia. Surely they went and addressed that place. They expanded the roads, put a perimeter wall. Now, at least the death rates or the accidents at such black spots have gone down. So we are still really pursuing that line, such that other black spots are equally addressed. Because,
I concur.
Yeah, because imagine you are on your right side of the road, but a truck in front has lost brakes. It comes and hits you. You are to blame. You are not to blame. You are very innocent. But because of the construction of the road, you become a victim. So we are looking at it to sensitize and lobby to the government so that they improve the road network, because we are losing too many lives, and families are being shattered as a result of that. And as a welfare, which is a member of Federation of Public Transport Sector, we are really advocating for that. We need a comprehensive approach towards the reduction of road carnage.
Kiarie,
yes,
his sentiments quite make some sense, because looking at some of the roads that over the years, even people thought there were demons there. Unfortunately, it's because of how they have been constructed, or even the drivers themselves. He has talked about having a proposal to have drivers have a medical test, and as a way maybe of reducing accidents, and maybe retraining, because last week I hosted the Deputy Director NTSA in charge of safety, and he actually mentioned something like in the line of that, because looking at me, my driver's license is over 20 years old, and I've never gone for any retraining. I've never been checked for eyesight and everything, and this maybe could be a way of reducing road carnage in Kenya.
In fact, that is one of the things which are causing so many accidents in this country. And if you recall, when we talk of Michuki, these were some of the things. That time I was an owner of some Matatus, and we were complaining we wanted to be given self-regulation. What does self-regulation mean? That is why we came up with the SACCOs. SACCOs were there to self-regulate themselves. But who was supposed to man these SACCOs? It's the associations. We had only two associations. That is Matatu Welfare Association and Matatu Owners Association. All members were supposed to be in one of these associations. What was the real purpose of these SACCOs?
All right, just in case you just joined us, this is News Check, and we are looking at matters of road safety. And before we took that feed from Nairobi, we were talking about how we can make our roads better. I'm having the Matatu Welfare Association National Vice Chairman, John Katimbwa, Philip Kipchumba Koskei, who is the Interim Secretary General of Long Distance Operators, and David Kiarie, Road Safety Association of Kenya. Apologies, we had to cross over to Aiden Duale. And you were talking about how you believe we can to actually change the fortunes of the country when it comes to matters road safety.
We can change because, as I was saying, I was talking about self-regulation. The government cannot be everywhere. The government will not know that a certain driver needs to be checked his eyes. The police, even on the road, will not know the behavior of the driver. But when it is self-regulation, and that is what we've been calling for, if these two associations are given power, the power they had during Michuki time, that they are able to control these SACCOs. Because today we have even SACCOs, so many even you don't know them. Because any SACCO goes to NTSA, register, nobody is monitoring them. We have even SACCOs which are not existing. So we are asking the government if they can give these two associations the power to make sure that they are able to hold these SACCOs accountability, so that the association with the SACCOs will be able to work out to know that these drivers should be checked. That's not the work of the government. It's the work of the association to do, to make sure that there's a doctor who comes there regularly to make sure that he checks the drivers' eyes, high blood pressure, what disease, because some of these accidents, as he has indicated, are caused by some of very little things like these diseases. So what we are saying, and our request is, like now we have an association of long distance. If the government can embrace, because they are the only people who know what they can do to solve their problem. We had a problem the other day, Matatu people complaining that one Matatu causes an accident, the whole SACCO is banned. And it is only one Matatu. Then the question is, you cannot buy your Matatu and start operating. It must be in an association, in a SACCO setting. So when you take your Matatu there, you are nowhere there. The Matatu the SACCO should take care of the driver, should take care of everything, even of the road. The guy, 3 days later, he died. So who is supposed to be blamed? Is it that Makanga? Is it the owner of the vehicle? Is it the SACCO? Who should be blamed? If there was proper self-regulation, would have asked the association what happened. They would have followed to the SACCO. Then the association will give NTSA the green light. Can that SACCO be banned? But not NTSA to just go and ban a SACCO. And they don't have enough evidence of exactly what happened. But the owners, they will be able to interrogate. And if they don't have proper, if the SACCO does not have proper evidence, now the association will give the NTSA a go-ahead. Can you ban that SACCO? But you don't wait NTSA to ban a SACCO. Something, and ask yourself, that incident happened. That SACCO was never banned. Another incident happened. An accident happened. Just one vehicle. Then you find the whole SACCO has been banned. It was only one vehicle.
All right. I see, Secgen, you're nodding to that. Still on the same,
yes.
Can you tell us what you guys are doing to ensure that there's road safety adherence, especially for long operators? Because these drivers get tired. Sometimes they sleep on the wheel. And there were some regulations earlier on that demanded that if it's a bus, it needs to have, and it's long distance, it needs to have at least 2 drivers. And they should also be taking some break in between.
Okay, fine. Let me digress a bit and try to dissect this thing in the manner that the nation should understand what is happening in the sector. Truly, we have these associations, but are we connected to the people who operate? Are we truly the members who are felt by the operators, or we have lost them? We said that during the time of Michuki, things were working well. It's true. But then where did we begin losing it? We began losing this thing when we had associations just by names. We have the authority that is supposed to regulate those who come to the sector, missing the point, causing us now to have an influx, a lot of people who are operating without the agenda. They don't have the common bond, they don't have the focus, they don't know why they're in the industry, therefore even posing danger of really killing all the circles and losing that issue of uplifting the living standards of people. Remember, when we formed these circles, other than enabling the government to be able to manage the issue of roads, it was also meant to uplift the lives of some people. But we are realizing that the people who are operating now, who have been licensed, not all are bona fide members or real members who are supposed to be operating. And that's why it's difficult for us to control this menace of road carnage. For example, there is somebody who corrupted his way to register the circle or a company. And this person is coming with a lot of impunity. You've seen people fighting on the parking lots, struggling to get a space and all these things. Why are they fighting? It's because the regulator didn't consult the associations. The regulator didn't see the scientific need for us to increase another number of operators, hence causing a lot of confusion and unearthed competition. In this unearthed competition now, you realize that we will have reckless driving, we will have so many issues that will come. We have this thing called issues that causes these accidents to happen. Remember, it cannot simply happen. There must be some factors. Maybe there is a motorbike, maybe there is a pedestrian, maybe there is something. There are so many factors. But in this forum, I just want to state that the associations that we have not received the necessary support from the players. Where I stand from, I am a player. When we were having that problem of getting out of CBD, then where did I lose my associations? Why did I have to come up again with another association? Then there is a need for us to be called by the same government, because we cannot lead the government, they need to lead us. So as much as we want to disconnect them, we must have someone who is going to lead us so that we can have a working association, we can have working circles, because if a circle is not working, it's a moribund, it's just there. The names are just moving on the roads, but we don't have any structure that is supposed to support this thing. That's where the problem is. We are having operators who are not genuine. We are having people who, through impunity, are really exercising and doing the business like as if they are in their own homes.
Then there will be a big issue if you guys are left to self-regulate yourself, just like Kiarie is saying.
Not exactly. Not exactly. You know what happened? Michuki was on the road.
Okay.
He knew what was happening. He never used the boardroom to manage the Matatu sector. He walked down there and see what is happening. We have the cooperative societies who have formed this. We have the companies who have formed the companies here. What are they doing? What are the standards that they are looking at? We have the authority and TSA. What are the standards? If you are to form a company limited, it is not the same as forming a circle. So, and what is the need of a circle? Like, for example, the vehicles going to Kisii, the South Nyanza. We have over 43 circles. Do we really need all of them? No. And what will happen? An health competition. People will be fighting for something to do. And in that context, yes. Now we lose them from controlling them on how they should be going. Number two is that we have conflict of interest. The people who are registering these things have connections. They are either police, they are either some of ROC and TSA members. We have city council people who collude to form circles and companies which can never be regulated or can even be self-regulated. Now, my last point is this.
All right.
Please allow me to finish that point. Allow me to finish that. I just want to urge the associations that are forming, including the one I'm forming, that we must be in touch with the societies. Remember, if we have 400 circles or companies, how many are they registered? They are hardly 100.
All right.
Where are the rest?
Let's hear what
Thank you very much. He has brought up...
And the self-regulation, I still have an issue with that, and I'm quite sure a lot of Kenyans will have some reservations in terms of letting the industry, as chaotic as it is, to self-regulate themselves.
I take the challenge positively in this context.
Okay.
NTSA and especially the Department of Cooperative Development in this country are a big letdown. Brown envelopes is what it speaks. You are bribed, you register a SACCO, break away a SACCO, because basically we said a SACCO should not have less than 30 vehicles. You'll find that SACCOs that are being formed have less than 30 vehicles, and they are being licensed.
Does NTSA know about this?
Exactly.
Why not?
Exactly.
See, I've talked of brown envelopes.
I'm quite sure they are watching this and they're quite uncomfortable with
It is a fact. How do they give out licenses to people who don't meet the requirement? The requirement is a minimum of 30 vehicles. Period. That's what we agreed on. Then you find the...
Case in point. Do you have case in point of SACCO that has less than 30 vehicles?
Oh my God.
My goodness.
There are many.
There are many.
All right. Okay. Wrap it up.
So what I'm saying is NTSA should stick to the rules of the game. That 30 vehicles, nothing less than that. The Minister of Cooperative, Department of Cooperative, should not encourage breakaway SACCOs. Because we differ with the Kiarie here, I go form my own because I want to be called a chairman. What's being a chairman?
So you totally believe that the NTSA is not doing exactly what it should be doing?
It should, and the Minister of Cooperative particularly, the Department of Cooperative. In fact, look at it. We are meant, any SACCO should hold elections by 30th April of subsequent year. How many have held the AGMs? I take them head on. Let them prove.
There seem to be a lot of issues there, but unfortunately
there are a lot of issues. So, you know, these are some of the things that create confusion, then lead to self-regulation not being upheld.
Okay.
Because if you have...
unfortunately, guys, we are out of time, and
when I was talking of self-regulation,
unfortunately, we are out of time.
I was talking of self-regulation, that is exactly why we succeeded during Michuki time. Because if the association have been given the power, then even if they have the power, there is a regulator, that is NTSA, which should not license a SACCO before the associations approve.
Yes.
That is all we are saying.
I think I should get you the NTSA Deputy Director. We were here, we had a candid conversation, but unfortunately, guys, we've run out of time. Thank you so much indeed, Bwana David Kiarie, who is the Road Safety Association of Kenya, John Katimbwa, who is the National Vice Chairman of Matatu Welfare Association, and Philip Kipchumba Koskei, who is the Interim Secretary General of Long Distance Operators. This is a conversation that we really need to have when we have the NTSA guys, because we can be able to pin them. But unfortunately, we're out of time. Thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday. My name is Bentroy Njue, and Wangeshi is a sign language interpreter. I'm now giving the baton to my colleague Khalid Abdullahi with Kurunzi Mashinani and Tamrin. Thank you so much for watching.